Today we're going to do a somewhat typical Father's Day sermon. We're going to be in Proverbs chapter 4, and we will be addressing the topic, Advice from Dad. And of course you know who wrote Proverbs, Solomon, largely to his children, maybe more largely to his son Rehoboam, who may or may not have listened to all of the good things that his dad had to say. First and foremost, I think in this sermon, I need to address the fact that my dad used to always say to us, do as I say, not as I do. Knowing that he was not a perfect man, we grew up with that. You probably did too. By the way, my older brother's with us today. Tim's about a year and a half older than me, and people have always thought over the years that I was the older one because my hair turned white and his turned loose, but it's just been in the last few years that he started to look more aged. But Tim, I could never outrun him, I could never whoop him, I could never beat him at anything. He's the reason I never got to stay at the top of the hill when we played King of the Hill. He's a large part of the reason that I was airborne most of the time. And we've been close our whole lives up until he went to college. We stayed in the same room from my earliest remembrances. He has his fine bride, Marlene, with him today. We got two Marlenes in the house. After church, we'll have a foot race, and you guys can see who's the stronger Marlene. Anyway, we have him today. Tim preaches in Waterloo and got a day off, and so he's here today. I told him we'd feed him, so that'll be a good thing. And then, we preachers don't get to have a lot of days off to go visit other churches, so it's a pleasure having them today. So Dad always said to us, do as I say, not as I do. As is often the case, Solomon in the Proverbs compares good and bad. Sometimes he talks about the adulteress. Sometimes he talks about wisdom. He sends this long note to his children. We don't know exactly how many there were. We think that he probably more specifically sent this to his son. We'll discuss that a little bit more later. He wanted them to listen. He wanted them to comprehend. We're going to read our text as we go through the sermon. I'll be using the New Living Translation, which is a little bit of a departure from what I normally do, because I like the way that it words this particular section of Scripture. I had a friend one time that, I probably told you this already, that every time he got in trouble, his folks made him sit down and read the Proverbs. By the time he was grown, he had read the Proverbs so many times that he almost had it memorized. It's one thing to read it, another thing to do it. And I think that Solomon in his life had not always done right things, but some of his words are golden as he gives them to his children. The first thing we're going to address is simply this. As he gives this advice to his son or his children, don't spend too much time looking out the window. And the text reads, "My children, listen when your father corrects you. Pay attention and learn good judgment, for I am giving you good guidance. Don't turn away from my instructions, for I too was once my father's son, tenderly loved as my mother's only child," and his mother was Bathsheba. "My father taught me, take my words to heart, follow my commands, and you will live." Now, in order to illustrate this first point, not spending too much time looking out the window, listening to what the instructions are. I thought I would share with you what my teachers had to say about me on my report cards all the way from first grade until fourth grade. And it's interesting that all of my teachers said almost the exact same thing. 4 different teachers, 4 different grades. And when we were growing up, Mom bought these books for each of us that would include report cards, it would include pictures, maybe little pictures we'd drawn, craft projects, all of those things. And when we were adults, she gave them to us, so I don't know, maybe this is a good way to torture us. And I'm pretty sure Tim's report cards sounded very much like mine, except he didn't talk as much. First grade, I was in Mrs. Long's class. By the way, I got 3 spankings that year. And just a bit of what she said sounds like this. Dennis is reading with the average middle reading group. Better listening habits would improve the quality of his work. Dennis is preoccupied with his own thoughts and doesn't hear instructions given. Dennis is an interesting little student. First grade. Here comes second grade. Mrs. McKeon. It may be necessary for Dennis to join the lower reading group. His interest span is very short. He doesn't listen. I would like to talk with you about this. He daydreams instead of listening to directions. Third grade, Mrs. Businger. I feel he is not doing the work he is capable of. He acts as if he doesn't feel well part of the time. Dennis has not made much improvement. He needs to develop better work habits. Fourth grade, Mrs. Willie. Dennis was listening better after our conference, but at this time is not doing so well. He seems to understand when I talk to him individually. He needs to improve his listening habits. Dennis needs our continued help. We need to have a day where we all bring our report cards and share them. Of course, I'm sure there's some A students in here. We don't care about what you did because we know it's all perfect. But I do find it, so I asked Carla, I read this to her and I said, so how much of this is still true? And she said all of it. But I can say, now I have spent the last 43 years in ministry doing the exact things that I was weakest at in school. And so all of those years that I spent trying to get out of it didn't work. Because isn't it funny how as a kid you hate certain things, and then as an adult you have to do so many of those very things that you hated growing up. So Solomon's point to his son, don't spend too much time looking out the window. Listen to your father's correction. Pay attention and learn good judgment. I'm giving you good guidance. Don't turn away from my instruction. Take my words to heart. Follow my commands, and you will live. How many times did our Father say to us things like this, and we may or may not have listened? Secondly, in verses 5 through 9, if you got your phone, you probably can look up the New Living Translation easily enough. Verses 5 through 9, essentially what Solomon says is this: go find a girl. Her name is wisdom. Develop a relationship with her and be loyal. The scripture reads like this, verse 5. Get wisdom, develop good judgment. Don't forget my words to turn away from them. Don't forget my words or turn away from them. Don't turn your back on wisdom, for she will protect you. Love her, and she will guard you. Getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do. And whatever else you do, develop good judgment. He says that like twice now, right? If you prize wisdom, she will make you great. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will place a lovely wreath on your head. She will present you with a beautiful crown. How many times as a young man said, boy, if I could just find the right girlfriend. Of course, a lot of girls probably said, if I could just get away from this boyfriend. Men tend to name things that they own after women. My first car I called Betsy. B.B. King has a guitar and he calls it, anybody?
Lucille.
Lucille. Interesting, isn't it? Maybe you had a girlfriend named Lucille one time. We named cars and boats and musical instruments, I suppose, after girls or women or people we've known. What if we named our car after wisdom? Our trumpet, our guitar, wisdom. Solomon told his son, seek her out, listen to her, draw close to her, prize her, embrace her, don't turn your back on her. The wisest thing you can do is have a relationship with wisdom. Thirdly, verses 10 through 13, Solomon says to his son, don't lose your keys or you're stuck. You won't be able to get anywhere. Verse 10, my child, son, listen to me and do as I say, and you will have a long, good life. I will teach you wisdom's ways and lead you in straight paths. When you walk, you won't be held back. When you run, you won't stumble. Take hold of my instructions. Don't let them go. Guard them, for they are the key to life. Listening, doing, following good instruction, following wisdom's ways, the straight paths, take hold of good instruction, guard them. They are the key to life. These are moving forward words. This is how serious Solomon feels that his son abiding by these instructions is to him. He actually calls them the key to life. And then number 4, don't do it. You'll notice on the PowerPoint, there's a T in the road. There's an arrow that goes left and an arrow that goes right. Next Sunday, we're going to talk about the wide and the narrow gate. This could very easily depict that. Don't do it. In verses 14 through 17, we're going to see the word don't pretty readily, pretty often. Don't do as the wicked do. Don't allow the path of evildoers. Don't follow the path of evildoers. Don't even think about it. Don't go that way. Turn away and keep moving. For evil people can't sleep until they've done their evil deed for the day. They can't rest until they've caused someone to stumble. They eat the food of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. They do whatever it takes for them to be nasty. Now the words that I've described here are stop words. You know, a lot of times in Scripture we have what we call positive reinforcement. I call them plus statements. The Apostle Paul or Jesus or Solomon in this case might say, do this, follow, develop a relationship with wisdom. Those are positive statements. Take hold of my instructions, positive. But then every now and again you get a minus statement, a negative statement, the don't statements. Don't do as the wicked do. Don't follow the path of evildoers. Don't even think about it. Don't go that way. Turn away. Keep moving. Do good. Don't follow the evil path. Now as we continue this, we summarize. In preaching school, we'd call that a restatement. Before the class ends, we need to restate things that were said in verses 18 through 22. And this sermon, being expository, is taking its outline directly from the text, from the chapter. So it's important for Solomon to say, okay, now, let's review, let's restate, let's cement this in your mind just a little bit more. He starts with the positive statements. The way of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, which shines even brighter until the full light of day. Positive, the way of righteousness. It shines, it gleams, it edifies. In verse 19, we begin to see more warning, as he kind of summarizes where he's been. Verse 19, but the way of the wicked is like total darkness. They have no idea what they are stumbling over. My child, pay attention to what I say. Listen carefully to my words. Don't lose sight of them. Let them penetrate deep into your heart, for they bring life to those who find them and healing to their whole body. It's as if his father is saying, this one edifies, this one just is a weight that you carry around for your whole life. Do you want to live a life like this or like this? In conclusion, last but not least, in verse 23 to 27, he may say some of the most important words that anyone could ever hear. He starts with a positive statement, 23. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. One time at Kids Club, probably last winter, I only had boys. And when I only have boys, I tend to be more open about manly things. And one thing I told them was to guard their heart. Now these are junior high boys. They're just getting good at sin. It's important for them to understand what it means to guard their heart. Put a shield around it. Pray. Plan to do good. This is a really big deal. Solomon says, for it determines the course of your life. He goes on, avoid all perverse talk. Stay away from corrupt speech. Stay away from corrupt speech. That's good for a junior high boy, right? That's good for any of us. Positive. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. So Carla and I love to go driving around. We drive country roads. We drive paved roads. We've probably been by most of your houses, and if you hear somebody honking, it's probably us. And sometimes I'll be farming. I'm looking at the fields. I'm looking at whatever's off the side of the road. And Carla will say, you need to quit farming and keep your eyes on the road. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. Don't, they're my words, not Solomon's, don't go wandering. 27, don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. Jesus said in his model prayer, deliver us from evil. The same advice is in Solomon's thoughts. Keep your feet from following evil. Because if you want to follow evil, evil will accept you. These are sound words from a father to a son. My comments in my report cards eventually got better, I'm glad to say. If I had gone on to 5th grade, I had a male teacher, and he didn't really give any comments in the report card. He did all of his talking with a paddle, and I did spend a lot more time in the hallway. Then the principal would wander the halls, and he'd come by and say, Dennis, why are you sitting in the hall? And I'd say, well, the teacher told me to come out here. And he'd say, what did you do? And I would, well, usually it was talking in class. That's the reason I got sent to the hall. But I did eventually get better, and I graduated, I'm glad to say, 16th out of my class of 32. So when I say to you that I am the C student, I am 16th out of 32. Carla was 11th. She thinks she's better than me. But my head is full of things that will never amount to anything in life. Trivia and things like that. I don't know that when I was, and I don't know what age Rehoboam was when this was written to him or handed to him. Maybe he was smaller, I don't know. Some scholar could probably figure it out. But I think the fact of the matter is, we know from later on in life that he probably didn't listen very well. I hope that I did listen to the advice of my dad. When I didn't listen to his advice, if things turned wrong, then I learned that. We live and learn, right? We learn by our mistakes. Sometimes our mistakes, sometimes our not listening, sometimes our not following the straight path can lead us down a road that has lifelong consequences. Maybe that's why Solomon has such wise words, because he didn't even follow his own advice a good part of the time. And so his advice may have been filled with a little bit of pain, maybe a little bit of tears, maybe a little bit of him saying, do as I say, not as I do. Listen. Pay attention. Follow righteousness, embrace wisdom, guard your heart. You're going to need it. Scripture tells us that after Solomon died, Rehoboam didn't heed his father's words very well, and he ruled over Israel, and he was mostly responsible for the dividing of the kingdoms, and he was left in the end with only Judea. And he ruled over Judea, I think the scripture says, or the commentary, 17 years, and lost all of the rest. Many in our world aren't following Solomon's words very well. Many in the church don't follow his words very well. Many in the pulpit don't follow his words very well. We must not be among them. Somebody said, bear your cross as you wait for a crown.